Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. It is great honor and pleasure to welcome Reverend Young-Hee Kim on this special education lecture. Many of our elder members will know Reverend Kim very well because he was appointed by True Parents as a European regional president during the 1980s and shared so much of True Parents' heart and wisdom with you during those years. However, those who joined since that time and our second generation may not know him so well, so please allow me to introduce him to you all. Reverend Kim and his wife, Tae-Hwa Jung, were one of the three couples matched before True Parents' holy wedding and blessed just 5 days after the holy wedding in 1960. Reverend Kim was appointed as the second, fourth, and fifth president of HSA-UWC in Korea. In addition, he supported the True Parents as the Providence as the chairman of the Tongil Foundation, the International Federation for Victory of Communism, the Citizens Federation for the Unification of Korea, and the Sunmun Education Foundation, and also the president of the Washington Times. Presently, he is entrusted as the chairman of the Scripture Compilation Committee, and on May 12th this year, he was appointed by True Parents as director of the Cheonil-won, the Cheonilguk Parliament. We may think of the relationship between him and True Parents as the same as St. Peter to Jesus. We could not ask for anybody better qualified to share with us about True Parents' life course, the Cheonilguk scriptures and constitutions, and the recent providence. Please join with me in welcoming Reverend Young-Hee Kim with a very warm round of applause.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. I am very happy to see you here this afternoon. Especially I can talk about our father's accomplishments, and also I'm grateful for that. True Mother sent me here, and I could have this opportunity. I also thank to True Mother. This afternoon, my topic is Father's last words for blessed families and his accomplishments. The reason why I chose this topic is because Father's last prayer was very important one, and in that prayer, he put in many meanings, much meanings. Therefore, I chose this topic. And his last prayer was put on the last page of First Cheonseokyeong, and it consists of two parts. First part is his prayer to God. In his prayer, he said he was very grateful for him to be able to work throughout his lifetime for the accomplishment of God's providence. And also he was very grateful because the time came for him to return to God, and God allowed him to come back. Because of this, he was very grateful. That was his part one, prayer. And next one was his last words for all the blessed couples and the members who are living on earth. In his second part, he said that all the blessed couples are entitled to enter into God's kingdom if they fulfill the responsibilities of tribal messiahship. And he said, in all the nations, if all the blessed couples, blessed families fulfill, God's will be realized, and also everyone can be the members of God's kingdom. And at last he said, I have completed everything. He repeated twice, and he ended his prayer by saying, Aju. Many members may think that even though he worked here on the earth for 90 years, but there aren't much differences. The time when he came to this earth and when he left this world. If they do not understand what he really did and what really accomplished on this earth. Therefore, it is very important for us to maintain our faith in God and in true parents. We have to know very clearly that what he has done while he was on earth. I will explain from the beginning when he started his public life. In 1945, Korea was liberated from Japanese occupation and became independent country. But during the Second World War time, Japan was engaged in war against the United States and the UN forces. In the beginning, Japan was very in favor of war in her side. But as time went by, Japanese situation was becoming very worse and worse. So they had to strengthen their control over Korean people and Korea. And during this time, as you understand, Japan has their own religion. And this is called Japanese Shinto religion. And they have a Shinto shrine all over the country. And in the later years, they asked and forced all the Korean people visit Japanese Shinto shrine and bow before their gods. This was what they asked for, Korean people. That in there, Korean Christians also included. From the face of Korean Christians, you think they could follow this policy? They could not, because the first commandment was what? Not to worship other gods than God Jehovah. This was most important commandment all the Christians had to observe, to keep. Therefore, did not follow. Most of them did not follow. Of course, there were some who did it, but most. Because of this, many ministers, Christian leaders, elders were confined, put in jail or prison, and also many Christian churches were closed down. This was the time Father came, and after Korea was liberated, of course, the situation was changed, but still, there came division among Christian people and the Christian churches, because those who did not follow Father's Japanese policy, they called the others heretic. They are not real Christians. And the fight began. And in this situation, for father to approach to the Christian churches was not easy. Therefore, father had to go to a special spiritualist group. And among them, most famous one was Israel Monastery. That was in Seoul. And the father went there from October 1945. For 6 months, he stayed there. And the leader was Kim Bang-mun. And he was a very noted person, and he had many followers. And while father was there, father did his best to serve them and to work for them. And as time went by, the leader began to receive revelation concerning father. And finally, he received such revelation that this man is the man who came with the glory of King Solomon and who will do great things for God. This was what he received. But if he really understood the meaning of the revelation, he has become his disciple, and he should have had followed father together with his followers, his members. But he did not do that. Because of this, father's situation was a little bit became difficult. When this happened, other followers, they began to receive revelation from heaven. And they received such revelation that you should not follow your former leader, but you follow new leader, Mr. Moon, Reverend Moon. They servant of servant position. That is lowest position, as slave. And from slave position, he had to go up to the highest position. That was the substantial object of God. And in the beginning, father could not sleep in the house. He slept outside. There was a barn, and he stayed there. And many people who saw father was serving as slave, nobody could understand why he does such a thing. Most people thought this person became insane. You know, he was a young man and educated person with nice body. How such man could work like slave for the lady's house, where there were many children and many daughters, sons, and also daughter-in-laws there. You can understand that? So they began to call him by all kinds of bad names. And the one man who was there, he came to South Korea, and one time I was working for Korean Electric Power Company. He became the member of that company. And he knew that I was the Unification Church member. He wanted to take me out of church. So he came to me and he began to talk what he experienced. His house was near the Lady Park's house, and he watched what father was doing. He was laundering all kinds of women's things, everything. You know? So there are those things, especially in Korea. Man, female, male, man should not do anything for woman. This was like a commandment for man to keep. But he was doing all kinds of dirty things for lady and served everybody, everything like that. Therefore, for Koreans, it was impossible to understand. If he was not crazy person, insane person, how he could do such a thing? Therefore, many people even cursed him. Such guy, you had to die like that. You know? But father did not mind what the people say. Just he continued his service and attendance, serving for the family. And the Mrs. Park, after a certain time, she called him, "You are now servant position." Servant. Like the treatment became different. From slavery time, it was very bad treatment, but she became a little bit different, and she did better. And also, from more time passed, he came up to foster son's position. and also went up. And that was illegitimate son's position. And fifth one was real son's position. Up to this, she came. Father came. So they began to treat him as ordinary man. And from that on, she began to receive liberation from heaven. This man is Secretary General of God's kingdom, he said that. What Secretary General? He works all kinds of family, like in family, it is mother's role, like mother's role. See? So that was mother's position. Father could restore mother's position. And later also she said that this man is like Jesus. So that position was father's position. And at last he said that you are substantial object of God. So that was highest position as like God. So Father could go through 8 stages, and he could succeed in restoring vertical 8-stage course. At that point, Father said, now you said that, you testify to me, I am the subject of God, therefore from now on you have to obey me. You have to follow my direction. This was what Father's order to the lady. But you think she obeyed, she followed Father's direction? No, because those things did not come from her own knowledge, but she received. Because she received those revelations, she said that. Not from her knowing. See? Therefore, when you receive something and if time goes by, then it disappears like nothing. Therefore, she did not follow Father, and therefore Father had to come to his place. But Father succeeded in restoring the position, original position, as Lord of Lords, Lord of Second Advent, the position. He could restore it. And second one was that. After that, Father himself spoke about the course. It is written in Chambumo Gyang, that is scripture of 2 parents. Third book, it is contained in third book. He went to spirit world and stayed there for 43 days. And there, he had fight of truth. There were many religious leaders like Jesus, Confucius, Buddha, all those people, and those Jesus' disciples. They were all people there. And there, Father had to fight with them. Father's conviction was that in the most important thing in God's restoration providence are 3 things, Father said that. The one is to change blood lineage from Satan to God. This was most important thing. And when he said this, nobody could understand that. Nobody said, oh, how you say such a new thing which we never heard. We have many religions on this earth. Either there any religion which say that man of fall of man came because of the adultery or because of became the children of Satan. Because of that, fall of man came. Is there any religion which teach such teachings? There's no religion. Therefore, in spiritual, there's no one except Jesus. If Jesus knew, but no one. They all came against Father. Now, we were peaceful before you came, but now you are causing trouble, all kinds of trouble. So you get away. They all came against Father. And second thing was that change of heart is second important thing. Because of fall of man lost God's heart. What they inherit? They inherit mind of heart, mind of Satan. From Satan they inherited all the fallen natures, everything. Therefore, men became such bad people and all the time wars, struggles everywhere. All kinds of bad things are spread in this world. And third thing was change of ownership. This was Father's third conviction. Father said, all the things belong to God. But because of the fall, all people became under Satan's dominion. Therefore, fallen men cannot have ownership over all the creation. So therefore, those who had ownership already, they violated the heavenly law. This was what Father said. Therefore, ownership must be changed. And also, Father said to Jesus, you said you are coming back to this earth at last days, in the last days. Actually, the same Jesus who is coming, another man is coming. But Jesus said he himself was coming to this earth. Because of his saying, in the last days there came to have confusion among Christians. And also Jesus said that in the last days there will be 1,000-year kingdom in air, he said that. In air. So it cannot happen. That's what Father said. And also to Confucius he said, you talked about heaven, but you could not teach God of character. So his teaching just was like a moral education. So you could not, your teaching could not become religion. And most important thing was to see God, but you couldn't teach anything about God. This was what Father said to Confucius. And same thing. Buddha, did they teach God? No. They only say every man has Buddha nature, and when you cultivate good nature, you can become like Buddha. That was their teaching. They couldn't teach about God. Therefore, because of this, fight did not end. And Heavenly Father, also God also came against Father. Because first Adam and Eve, they came against Father. They did not follow God's commandment. Therefore, they fell. Therefore, to indemnify that, God came against Father. Father had to overcome that. And the Father did not change his conviction. And at the end, God had to draw final judgment. That was that. Now you heard everything, but Reverend Moon's conviction is right. His teaching is right. That was, therefore, Father's teaching, truth was confirmed by Heavenly Parent. And by this, therefore, he said that he came to this earth by receiving God's seal of God. He came down, he said that. Seal of God means confirmation. He received confirmation from God of his teaching. And he said, if he did not succeed in that, he had not succeeded in that, he could not start, he could not found HSA UWC, he could not start the work of Lord of Second Advent. He said, that important was the second trial course. And after he restored this, he had to go through third trial course. That was to succeed Jesus' mission, from Jesus' position and succeed his mission. Where Jesus left from this earth to spirit world. Where was the point, the place he left this world? That was cross, on the cross he left. Why was he put on the cross? If Jesus' 12 disciples were completely united with Jesus, you think Jesus was crucified on the cross? No. When Jesus and 12 disciples are united, there is no place for Satan to invade. But when, like Judas, if among Jewish people, the disciples, if somebody disbelieves in Jesus, then there Satan can come in. Because of that, Jesus was crucified on the cross. Therefore, Father had to stand same point, same place as Jesus left. That was Hungnam labor camp, hard labor camp. In February 22nd, 1948, Father was again arrested in Pyongyang Communist police station. And he had trial, and he was sentenced 5-year hard labor. And Father was moved to Pyongyang in prison on the 9th of April, and on the 20th of May, he was moved to Hungnam hard labor camp. There, he served for 2 years, 4 months, and 25 days. Total period was 2 years, 7 months, and 21 days. He was there. And you know what is hard labor camp? That is a place to kill men. They serve only 1/3 of food men needed, and let them work 3 times harder. How can they survive there? As time goes by, gradually they lose health and everything and die. This is the same as crucifixion place. In this place, Father had to survive, come out. From this place, he must be released. And not only that, if he could not restore 12 disciples, which Jesus lost, he could not come out of this place. Therefore, first thing he had to do was to make 12 disciples in the prison. Now, this is a modern world. We are free to talk everything. We can move anything. We can meet everybody. But is it easy to find members in our society? Very difficult. Then how about in prison? Hard labor camp. Especially a communist hard labor camp, where they don't believe in God. You cannot talk anything about God. No religion. They don't admit God, a religion. And also you cannot meet freely people there. Cannot speak, cannot meet anybody. How can you find 12 disciples there? And first thing is how to survive there, not without dying. You have to go out, come out, and also you got to find 12 disciples, more than 12 disciples. 2 things he had to do that. Therefore, in the beginning, he said, this is from his words, he said that for 2 weeks, he received daily ration and cut it in half. And he gave half to other people, and he had only, with half he worked for 2 weeks, and from 2 weeks later, he began to take all. And he said to his mind, he put his, latent conscious, now I'm taking twice as much as I needed. Therefore, I can survive. I can maintain my health, and I can come out without losing health. That was he put that consciousness in his mind. And also his work, it was Satan's prison. So normally you think, with Satan's work, I don't have to do my best. I want to spend time easy way, But Father was different. Even though it was Satan's place, but he did his best. He put in all his heart, all his energy to fulfill his duty as prisoner. Because of this, he could receive 3 times citation, as model laborer. And not only that, when Father's mother, she was very in difficult circumstances. She did not have any money, but because of her son, he did all kinds of things, and he prepared something, and whenever he provided something, he took them and went to see father. He went to meet father in prison. And she also made nice clothes, hot clothes, for warm clothes. In winter time, they don't give, prisoners are not given thick one, just very simple clothes they were given. Therefore, she wanted to give thick, warm clothes to him, and he brought them. But in front of mother, as soon as she received it, she just gave out all the food and all clothes, everything to others. Therefore, even in the prison, he followed the lifestyle of God. God's lifestyle, what is the motto of God's love? God's life? Live for others. That is God's love. That's God's teaching. God's motto for us to follow. Our life should be to live for others. So Father completely followed that motto of God. He did that. And also, he always tried to keep dignity as son of God, because he was son of God. Therefore, even though he was in prison as prisoner, but he always tried to keep God's son's dignity. Therefore, when he was given drinking water, he saved some. And every night, with that water, with some paper, he cleansed his body all the time, every day, every night. And also the colleagues who came out of the prison later, and they witnessed to us that they could not see father sleeping in the prison. They said that. Then you think father did not sleep? He slept. But they said they could not see father sleeping. Why was that? Because father slept later than anybody else. He woke up earlier than anybody else. Therefore, nobody could see father was sleeping. This was father's life in the prison. Why father did do this? Because father thought to make 12 disciples or more, there's no other way than mobilizing spirit world. To mobilize spirit world, you have to do your best. You have to put everything you have. You have to put all your heart energy in your work, in your living life. Because of that, the ancestors of the laborers, prisoners, they began to give revelation to their descendants. And they were taught that father's number was 596. You go to 596 and you give what you have on many things. They gave directions to do what to do. And because of this, father could restore, when he came out, he restored 24 disciples. Twice as many as he needed. And also, when my father was put in prison, that time there was no Korean War. But in 1950, June 25th, Korean War broke out. And in the beginning, North Koreans, they had all kinds of weapons from Stalin. Stalin gave them all kinds of tanks, everything, and fighter, yak, fighter plane, everything. They gave it to North Korean army. But South Korea, they did not have anything, no tank, no fighter plane. At that time, I know Korean army had 10 light plane for messenger work. 10 plane. No army, not armed. That's plane they had. And guns, only mortar guns, mortar gun? Small guns. That was all they had. But North Korean, they had tanks, big artillery guns, everything they had. Therefore, in 3 days, Seoul fell to the hands of Communist army. And they came down almost to Busan area. Almost they occupied the whole area of South Korea. But because of the United Nations forces came to aid Korea, United Nations forces could push up North Koreans. And when September 1950, Seoul was restored. And also United Nations forces went up to North Korea. And when they saw this, they began to kill prisoners because they knew bad things are happening to them. Therefore, they already were ready, prepared to flee towards Manchuria. Therefore, they was killing. And Father Day, Father was also among them. Father Day of shooting, shot to death was exactly October 14th, 1950. And that day, United Nations forces occupied the prison area. And their father could be released. And father became free, and we went to Pyongyang on foot. And it took 11 days to come back to Pyongyang. Why did he come there? Because there were many followers before father was put in jail, in prison. But those who were following father at that time, they all went away. Why? Because they thought that, how could the Lord of Second Advent go to prison? They could not understand that. When Jesus was crucified, what did people say? If you are the Son of God, you mobilize angels and you come down from the cross. That was said to Jesus, same thing. Because father was put in prison, everybody went away. And father, even though father sent Wonpil Kim to visit all of them, and father wanted them to come down together with him to South Korea. But none of them wanted to follow father. Only two, Wonpil Kim and another Mr. Park, who was very close to father in prison. He had a broken leg, and the father put him on the bicycle, and three together came down to South Korea, on foot. And it took 55 days to come down to Busan, and that was January 27th, 1951. So father was released on the 14th of October, 1950, and he left Pyongyang December 4th, 1950, and he came down to Busan January 27th, 1951. And from Busan, he started to do new work now. Because he fulfilled everything. He succeeded in 3 trial courses. Therefore, in Busan, he could go his way. And what he did in Busan was first thing was to write manuscript of original divine principle. So it was from May 11th, 1951 to May 10th, 1952. It took 1 year. And he finished that, and from 1953, July 20th, he sent out first missionary to Daegu City. Until that time, he did not proclaim divine principle to the world. That was the first time. And for 40 days, that was Miss Kang. The lady, still she lives in Korea. She was the first missionary. She was sent by father to Daegu City and stayed there for 40 days. That was first time divine principle was proclaimed to public. Before that, he never talked about divine principle. Therefore, those who were following father in Pyongyang, they said that if father had taught them divine principle, they said they had not gone away from father. They said that. But how about in this world, among our members, even though they were taught whole divine principle, or listen much of father's speech, still they go away. And then why did father begin his public divine principle to public from 1953. How old was Father at that time? 53, 33 years old, and Jesus died at the age of 33. So from that time, he began his teaching of divine principle. And in 1954, May 1st, Father founded HSA UWC. So this was now the restoration of Christianity, because Christian churches did not come to Father. Therefore, he had to go through all kinds of difficulties, hardships, and finally, he could found Holy Spirit Association for the Unification of World Christianity. So this is in place of Christian church. Now he founded this one. On this foundation, he could start real God's providence. And in 1957, he selected 120 cities in South Korea, and he sent out two member teams, 120 team to each city, 120 city, and it was first time. For 40 days, he did with preaching campaign. That was first time, large scale. But after that, he did not. That was a test. And we said to Father, why don't you continue with his campaign every year? We want to go. He said, no. Until the time comes, we don't do it. And he said, and in 1960, there came new thing. You know what it was? New thing, which was never happened before, which never happened afterwards. This was True Parents' Holy Wedding ceremony. That was 1960, April 11th, in Seoul, Korea. It was held. This is the beginning of new history. Why? God's will was not realized because Adam and Eve could not reach perfection, and on the way, they fell. If God had perfected Adam and Eve, God could give blessing, marriage blessing on them, and they could have become first humankind, first ancestors of mankind. From them, children of goodness should have multiplied, and then this earth should have been filled with men on God's children, and spirit world same, should have filled with God's children. But because of their fall, what they became? They became fallen parents. And from fallen parents, fallen children were multiplied. So who are the fallen children? They are the children of Satan's lineage. So they all went to hell on earth and hell in spirit world. That is, present world is hell on earth. Hell in spirit world, that is present spirit world. Therefore, to restore this, what should be restored first? Because of the loss of first ancestors of goodness, this world became world of Satan. Therefore, first thing God had to restore was to restore first ancestors of goodness. We did not have first ancestors of goodness before. This was first time in history. And it was said in Bible, Lamb's wedding. So, this was, actually, if Jesus tried to fulfill this one, but on the way, he was killed. But Father, without being killed, now he established this first ancestor of mankind, of goodness. He became this one. So you think it was an easy thing to establish? Satan tried to destroy him by using all kinds of methods, all kinds of ways he could mobilize. but he could not succeed in killing Father. Jesus' time, Satan succeeded, but this time he could not succeed. Father succeeded. But therefore, we used to give what? Big hands to Father. To have this day, God worked so hard. God suffered so much. He had to sacrifice all the saints, early Christians, all died to have this day. All the people, good people died. All the time they were killed by Satan. But Father finally could succeed in restoring the first ancestors of mankind of goodness. Okay? From this time, now, new providence begins. So after 5 days of Father's true parents' blessing, true parents gave blessing to 3 couples. But 3 couples is a very small number. But you think, oh, that's not a big thing, just something very small. You may think this way, but it is not. It is first perfection stage salvation work. This was the beginning. In Old Testament age, there was formation stage salvation work. In the New Testament age, there was growth stage salvation work. But now, from this time, perfection stage salvation work started. This is the beginning of blessing, and it was 3 couple blessing. From this time, the way for people on earth, the gate of blessing was opened. From this time, the children of man of Satan's lineage could be changed to children of man of God's lineage. So God's lineage starts from this time. Now, how? Before Father came to this world, you think how many God's children in the spirit world, you think? How many? Only Jesus. Jesus is the only one. No one else. How about the Jesus' disciples? They say they were saved, but they did have a blood change, lineage change? No. They still have Satan's lineage. So they become, in the Bible it says, they are in the position of foster sons. So foster sons, they are still in the territory of Satan. So in God's territory, God and Jesus only 2, no one else. This was the situation of spirit world before Father came. But after came and Father became first ancestors of goodness, now God's territory begin to expand. Father, in 1963, couple blessing, and 1961, it was April 16th, 1960, 3 couples, and on May 15th, 1961, 33 couples, and June 4th, 1962, 72 couples, and July 24th, 1963, 124 couples blessed. And it was for 7-year course, and the 7-year course started from 1960, and it is finished 1967. For 7-year course finished, and on the first day of January 1968, Father declared God's Day. You understand what the meaning of God's Day? That day. God's Day. Why Father could declare Day of God? What are the God's desire, wish to establish on the earth? First one is to have true, first, unfallen, perfected husband and wife as ancestors of mankind. That was first thing God wanted to have on earth. So first desire was realized in 1960, And second one was that God-centered purpose and foundation family. God wanted to have God's family. That was God and true parents and children. That makes purpose foundation family. That was realized during 7-year course, first 7-year course. And third desire was to have God's tribe. 33 couples, 72 couples, and 124 couples belong to Father. They are God's tribe, Father tribe, first tribe. So God, Father, could restore first man's tribe, first family's tribe. This is, you add them together, how many? 232 couples? Yeah. That is Father tribe. So during 7-year course, first 7-year course, Father could achieve everything, 3 things. And these 3 objects become our objects. We bless families. We have to establish that, So first thing, bless families, husband and wife must become completed one. This is first purpose. Then you think we are all blessed families almost. Blessed children are also here. But how about blessed families? Husband and wife, you became completed one with your spouse. How do you think? You are already one. And there was a way how to become one. Our thinking must be changed. Our thinking must be changed. Now, in this world, there are many couples. They think, anytime I don't like my spouse, I can divorce. This is their idea. Anytime, they are ready to divorce anytime. When they don't like your spouse, then just they go away. If you have such an idea, you think you can make complete oneness between husband and wife? No, never. Therefore, our idea must be changed like this. I was born. You have to have this. I was born for my spouse. This is first. Should be our first idea of husband and wife. So wife is born for her husband. Husband is born for his wife. This should be the first idea. Second, spouse must live for his spouse, for her spouse. Husband live for his wife. Wife lives for her husband. This idea is second one. And third one is this. Husband will die for his wife. Wife will die for her husband. The 3. When you have this idea strongly, then you can become completely one united couple. If you don't have this, you cannot become one. You think it is true or not? You think that's true? Yeah. We have to have these 3 thinking. So, Father said, husband and wife must become one mind, one body, one thought, and one whole. Not one harmony, one whole. WHOLE. So this becomes like one, just one body. Not 2 bodies. No, we have 2 bodies, but when we go to spirit world, husband and wife become one body. Not 2 bodies, God said, in his image, he created man and woman. He said that. Then what is God? What is God's image? What is God? How God exists? In God, there is male characteristics, female characteristics. So they are divided in God? No. They are completely one. Completely one. Same thing. We have to take the image of God. Therefore, when we go to spirit world, husband and wife just become like God. Inside God, they are not divided, but inside God, there is male, female, same thing. Therefore, inside of God, there is Father God, Mother God, same way. One united one, Here's husband, here's her wife together. Therefore, when you go to spirit world, if you see couple, united couple, sometimes you can see husband's face, sometimes you can see wife's face. Completely one. This is united couple. So we have to make this couple while we live on earth, not after death. And second one is what? That is God-centered four-person foundation family. So when you give birth to your child, then you go up to parents' position and child. You have come to have child. There, parents and child relationship comes. Parent-child must become one. See? And you have many children, sons and daughters, and they have to become united in love. This family, when this is realized, this family is God-centered four-person foundation family. We have to establish this one. This is what we have to achieve. First and second, two. See? So first, husband and wife must become one. Second, we have to establish this family. Third, what? Third is to restore our tribe. Then our tribe means your relatives are living in America and you are living here. Then how can you bring them to our church? No, that your tribe does not mean that one. And our neighbors, they can become our tribe. So if you witness to the people around you and they become our members, they are your spiritual sons and daughters. See? So they become your tribe. You don't have to go to America to bring your tribe to make them. No, somebody else can make them their tribe, but that's okay. So there's no excuse that our relatives are living some other country, therefore I cannot do. No excuse. See? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So this is now, and also during first 7-year course, one thing very important was realized. That was when mother was blessed with father, mother was in perfect state or he was not. When we were blessed, we got blessing at perfect state? No, we were blessed where? Growth stage. Same thing. Mother was at growth stage. Therefore, father's commandment to mother was that you never hear the voice of somebody else. Only follow father's voice, father's voice. That was father's commandment to mother. And by this, you have to become one with me. That was what father said to mother. How fall of Eve came? Eve, did she follow God's words or she followed Satan's words? Because of that, she fell. Therefore, if mother listened to somebody else, same thing can happen. Therefore, father said that to mother. And mother completely followed father's words and they became one. Therefore, mother reached perfect state at the end of first stage, first 7-year course. Therefore, now father's family could become model family. See? We have to follow this model. So next second 7-year course, third 7-year course continued until 1981. Then actually, through 7-year course, we could have reached perfect state. And husband and wife should have become one, but did we make it or not? Yeah, after our blessing, many years passed. Still, we are not in that state. Is that right? Therefore, Hung Jin-nim died in 1984. January 2nd, he died. And that time, all the members in the world, they had to have special prayer time. We have to unite. We could not unite with the true parents. We could not with our members. We could not unite in ourselves. With 3 things we had to repent. So even though we have passed third 7-year course, there were no one who reached perfection. There were no God Centered 4% Foundation family was established among our members. But this was a good thing or bad thing? Whose responsibility is that? That is our responsibility. But true parents are who? They are the leader of all the blessed families. When we do not fulfill our responsibility, then who take responsibility for the members? When teacher, your student did not study well and they fail, then who take responsibility? Teacher must. Same thing. Father had to take responsibility. Therefore, 1984, Hungjinim died. And also in 1984, July 20th to August 20th, 1985, Father went to Danbury prison. And he had to pay. He had to pay. And in 1989, November 3rd, Daimonim also went to spirit world. And when Father sent Hungjinim to spirit world, he gave him mission. You go to spirit world in the place of Father, he said that. So Father sent Hungjinim in the place of Father to spirit world. And when Daimonim died, he sent her in the position of mother to spirit world. So actually, for the spirit world, there's a huge world, but there, everything must be reorganized. There were no Lord in the past. Who are the true owner of whole world? God and true parents. See? True parents. Therefore, to have orderly spirit world, true parents must go. But true parents have many things to do on the earth. Therefore, when Hungjinim and Daimonim died, he sent them in place of true parents. And they went there and they worked to prepare the things which true parents should do in future. They was making ground for true parents to do. And now, from 1968, he began to bless 430 couples, 1970, 773 couples, 77 couples, and also 1975, 1,800 couples, many. It increased, expanded the blessing. Now, by this, he multiplied many blessed couples on the earth. But how about spirit world? Up to that time, he did not anything for spirit men in spirit world. Then which side, which world you have more people? On earth or in spirit world? Spirit world. How much more? Can you imagine? You cannot imagine. To understand that, we have to know the history of modern men. Modern men. We are modern men. You have to understand how many generations come to our time. How many generations from our ancestors. To find out this, many archaeologists, they traveled all around the world, especially Africa, hot area, because in the beginning, the population started from there. Therefore, they wanted to find out the bones of human beings, like us. We call ourselves Homo sapiens. They want to find the Homo sapiens bones. And what they found, all these bones are almost a little less than 30,000 years. They found this, and they could not find older one than that. But today, gene biology developed very high, and through the progress, through the evolution of gene, they could find the age, the period of years, how long it took to come to this state. And from this, they say now, the history of Homo sapiens is a little more than 50,000 years. This is our history of lineage. Our history is 50,000 years. Then 50,000 years, How many generations you think? Korea is especially a special nation, and they want to keep all family tree books, genealogy books. Koreans are very proud of that. And we have all, not all, but most families have that to keep the tradition of genealogy book. And I am from Silla dynasty, the last king of Silla dynasty, and my first ancestor, we call it Sonsan Kim. We have Kims, but many Kim, are all, not all the same, different by the place where they lived. We take the name of the place and put the name and Kim. So I am from Sonsan Kim, and my ancestor, we call it Midi ancestor. Its history is from 975. At that time, last king is from 11th son. My lineage come. And I am the 36th generation from that. So from this calculation, 35 generations correspond to falls on 1,000 years. So from this, we can create 50,000 years history. Then the number of generations become almost 1,800 generations. 1,800 generations. Now, when I joined our church in 1955, the population of the world was 2.4 billion people. But now how many? 8 billion people living on earth. That many was multiplied. But in all the days, we Korean people had a big family system. So in one family, one house, grandparents, parents, and grandsons all lived together. So at that time, birth was very, they gave birth to almost 10, 12, that many, all the time. Not to stay, you have just one son, one boy, one girl, but that they know. Almost every house had 10 children, 12 children. But even though they gave birth to that many, but that time they don't have enough food to eat. Also, medical system was not well equipped, well prepared. Therefore, many died at old age. The same thing is happening in Africa. They give birth to many children, but many dies. But still they die. Therefore, the number of people living on earth, they don't multiply as fast. But how about, even though they die on earth, but they go away, they disappear? No, they go to spirit world. Therefore, multiplication of spirit men in the spirit world is much higher. You can understand that. They all were born, they go to spirit world, and they live there. Therefore, you think how many in spirit world? Now we have 8 billion on earth, then how many in spirit world? 1,800 generations. And you calculate how many? More than 3 trillion people living in spirit world. Maybe 7 trillion, I don't know. That many. So, which is more important to do salvation work? Earth or spirit world?